Star Wars is one of my favorite IPs of all time. The films are great, the OT's storyline and characters, and the prequel's world building and fight scenes. This video is going to be specifically talking about the games that spawned from the movies. I started watching and playing Star Wars related things since I was a young lad. I've experienced the many great and terrible releases. The Force Unleashed and the Battlefront series are some of the fondest gaming memories from growing up. Bounty Hunter, KOTOR, Vader Immortal, Jedi series, Racer's Revenge, and LEGO Star Wars are some of the many games I've played. Recently, I noticed a trend with these games, but also the IP as a whole. So I wanted to go through and analyze this. I mentioned this briefly in my Jedi Survivor review, so check that out afterwards if you haven't seen it before. Now let's ask the important question. What happened with Star Wars games? Well, to answer that, we first need to impose some other questions to get the necessary information. First, how many Star Wars games are there? When Disney took over, how many did the George era of Star Wars produce versus the Disney era? Next, with Outlaws recently released and got destroyed by critics and casual gamers alike, is this because gamers have high expectations? Is it a result of Disney era of Star Wars, or have Star Wars games always been a mixed bag? Thirdly, will the upcoming future Star Wars games be any good? Should we hold out hope for the future? As we dive into the video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. The bell icon to be notified when I post similar videos and challenges. Without further ado, let's jump into the discussion. Well, by this point in time, there are numerous games and DLCs. I'll be using IGN as a source for this. There are a few places to cite from, but I found this to have the most complete list with everything included. 181 games or DLCs were released from the George Lucas era and 74 from under Disney's belt. Now, Star Wars has been around for a while, since the 70s, and so it makes sense that it would have a lot more games. I have to say that I'm surprised with Disney's case because it truly does not feel like that many. Yeah, I think gamers, myself included, have high expectations for games, which isn't a bad thing. Over the course of many years, we've slowly seen greed, rushed development, and so on from some of our favorite studios, resulting in failure after failure after failure. Call of Duty I'll use as an example, as I used to play a bunch of these games, but recently I've just despised what this brand has become. From the OGs having some of the best single player and multiplayers, then BO7 and all of its horrors. Whether it's incompetence at the senior executive level or storyboard ideas in the development room, fails the consumer at the end of the day. These high expectations, while they are a good thing in most cases, I would actually say it is one of the many reasons we will probably never get a Battlefront 3 game or even another Battlefront. It is sad because the 2017 version had unmatchable memories made. It's partly the result of the Disney era of Star Wars, but also the studio behind the game. Many key elements were overlooked and too few things were added. I bet that anyone that plays Outlaws then KOTOR 1 both for the first time, they'd find KOTOR to be far more enjoyable and it to have more meaningful content. Another aspect is that they made a bounty hunter game be the least bounty hunter game ever. Compare that to the Jango Fett game, which makes you feel like a badass going through it, jetpacking around while hounding enemies above with wrist rockets. Star Wars games, just like other brands, have its ups and downs regarding reviews from critics and audiences. The games are no exception. Though it is evident that when Disney took over, games did not have as lasting of an effect as some of the OGs of the franchise, such as KOTOR, The Force Unleashed, and the Battlefront early, iterations. A few exceptions to this would be Battlefront 2017 and the Jedi series with Cal Kestis. While BF2 had a really rough start and caused governments to literally change laws due to its absurd microtransactions, it ended up becoming a solid game by the end. The Jedi series incorporates Souls-like elements with an amazing story, which resonated with many fans. And that brings us to the last big question. Honestly, yeah, but cautiously. I don't think Star Wars games are dead, I think they're just quite lost. The IP is so massive that it feels like studios don't know what to do with it anymore. Instead of asking what kind of game would be fun, they ask, how do we make this appeal to everyone? When you try to make something for everyone, you usually end up making something for no one. That said, there are reasons to be hopeful. Respawn proved that Star Wars games can still slap when you let the developers cook. Fallen Order and Survivor weren't perfect, but they had identity. They weren't afraid to be a little niche. They respected the universe, respected the player, and didn't feel like they were designed by a boardroom first and a dev team second. As for Battlefront 3, that's the dream. I think everyone wants it, but it's also the biggest gamble. Expectations are so astronomically high that one misstep and the internet internet would burn it alive. Probably why we haven't seen it. Not because it wouldn't sell, but because it wouldn't be allowed to fail even slightly. Modern publishers are terrified of that. Upcoming projects could go either way. Studios are given creative freedom and enough dev time, we could get another golden era. They keep playing it safe, chasing trends, and stuffing games with half-baked mechanics and live service nonsense, then yeah, it's gonna keep feeling like slop. So what actually happened with Star Wars games? It went from passion projects to products, from risks to focus-tested checklists, from devs asking what would be cool in Star Wars to executives asking what worked in the last game we shipped. That sucks because Star Wars at its core is about creativity, imagination, and taking big swings. I don't hate modern Star Wars games, I just know what they could be because we've already seen it before and that time was just amazing. If the future learns from the past instead of ignoring it, Star Wars games could absolutely make a comeback. If not, well, we'll always have KOTOR. As always, let me know what you think in the comments. Did you like Outlaws? Do you want Battlefront 3? What's your favorite Star Wars game of all time? Before I wrap up the video, I wanted to say that I'm planning to do a Star Wars Challenge Run Marathon in May for those who are interested. Force Unleashed, KOTOR, Republic Commando are some of the many games I'll be going through. Lastly, expect the KOTOR 2 Melee Only Challenge the weekend after next. Thank you for watching the video. Make sure to hit the like button, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. This greatly helps to support me in the channel, alongside pushing the video to others who may be interested. Try to do something kind for someone today. This is your boy Skilled Fawn, and I'm out.